Start over. She said maybe the other guy.
Galaxy F1 Hero disconnected. Ready to connect.
God,
Hey,
damn,
damn,
man.
man. Got to do it on my phone, man. I was trying to be all sophisticated and do it on my laptop, but the laptop steered me wrong, man. I had to switch over to do it on my
Yeah,
phone.
it's all good. It's all good, man. I had the laptop running, and then I jumped on the phone, man. So I'm glad we was able to make it work.
Well, good, man. Well, first and foremost, man, thanks for doing this, brother, man. It means a lot, man. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Everybody was like, yo, what's going on? What's going on? But, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, man. You know how that goes.
No doubt, no doubt. I saw a bunch of people in there, man. I know we lost a couple, but I hope they jump back on, man.
Yeah,
So
hopefully they'll
we're
jump
gonna
right
have a
back
good one.
on, man.
What's
All
happening?
right. Well, first and foremost, like I said, man, thanks for doing this and getting. Pardon me, what you say?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Hear me good?
Okay. Yeah, you good. You good.
All right, good, good. All right, man, we're gonna jump right into it, man. So just a little rundown on Dwayne for the people that don't know him. All right, Jersey City legend, man. Went to St. Anthony's, 2 TOC championships. But I'll let him tell his story, man. Went to St. Joe's, went to the Elite Eight. Big dude, entrepreneur, father, husband. So we'll just get right into it, man. Tell me a little introduction of yourself as well. Where'd you grow up? What type of personality that you have? Just a little bit about you like that, man.
All right. I got a little echo in the background. Can you hear that, or is that just on my end?
Can you hear me? You
It's
good?
I hear you, but it's kind of like it's uh it's echoing in the background.
All right. You hear me now?
Yeah, but I'm hearing myself talk.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Do you hear that, or is that just me?
Is it still echoing?
Yeah, because I'll say something to you, and then it'll play back in my ear about 5 or 10 seconds after.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna put some headphones on.
they coming up at all? But they won't connect?
Nope. Hello, hello.
We lost support. Did you lose them? They won't connect to your thing?
Dwayne, try and hop back on. Try and hop back on. Trying to see if this echo went away.
It's not connected? You don't see them on your Bluetooth? Disconnect and reconnect from your Bluetooth when you set it. If I see your phone, will I see it?
You hear me, Pete?
Yeah, you hear me? Is it still echo or you good?
No, that's good, man. That's good.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that, y'all, man. A little technical difficulties. First time around, trying to figure things out. Had to switch over to my phone. Thought the laptop would come through. Couldn't get the link in. But guys, thanks for sticking with us, man. I know it's a little past time, but we're gonna get right into it, man. First and foremost, Dwayne, thanks for doing this tip for me. I just wanted to bring light to your life and what you've done, and it's called Once a Friar, Always a Friar. So just a little bit, talk about like where you're from, how you grew up, what type of personality that you have. So we just want to go into that, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, man. No, of course, man. Thanks. First of all, thanks for having me. Allowing me to kick this thing off. I'm really excited to be a part of this, man, and looking forward to see where you take this thing. But
Appreciate it.
where I'm from Jersey City, man. Born and raised Jersey City. You know, and it's your no different than your typical inner city, tough city, man. You know, a lot of hurdles that are placed in your way in that city, man. But lucky enough that I was able to, you know, use basketball and find it early in my life, but use basketball as a tool and a vehicle to make it out of the city, man. But I'm a proud, proud citizen of Jersey City, New Jersey.
Awesome. Well, you know, me and you didn't grow too far from one another. So, you know, I always heard about you just so people can kind of know how we, you know, we're a year apart as far as age. And I started playing basketball in the 8th grade with Charles Clark and the boys club. So they would always talk about this kid named Dwayne Lee because I remember you went to Beacon Academy and hopped on the bus and went to school. So I remember when you had that hoop in front of your house, they were like, yo, we're going to go play with Dwayne Lee. And I didn't know much. And I was like, all right, well, whatever. And I was like, man, yeah, this dude can play, man. I lose you, Dwayne? We invite you, man. You got me
Yo,
now?
yeah, my bad, man. My phone just rang. I got to put my phone on airplane mode. Hold on a second.
All right. What's up, everybody? What's up, Coach Whalen? How you doing, man? Waiting on Dwayne to get back on, y'all. There's a couple technical difficulties for a little bit, but we talked about a little bit about where he's from and how we know each other. We're about 3-4 blocks.
So we're trying to get him right back on. All right, I'm about to add you again.
You good?
All right, waiting on D Lee. D Lee, get back to me. Coronavirus hate. What's up, Don? What's up, cuz? So yeah, once he gets back on, we'll kind of dive right back into St. Anthony's and his career there, playing for Coach Hurley and stuff like that, just to see, you know, his 2001 and 2002 teams, you know, the differences and what he thought about each team. Just waiting on him to get right back on. But how's everybody doing out there? What's up, Jeannie? How you doing? All right.
Yeah, you know your man Don. He see us on the live, but he gonna call me as he sees us on the live.
Don, you know, Don don't want to say nothing on live, man. Come on, man.
This guy, man. You know.
All right, so we're gonna get into high school, man. So first thing, what playing at St. Anthony's, you know, was a big time deal. You know, from '97. So you played from '98 to 2002,
Right.
right? So what was your most memorable moment at St. Anthony's?
That you know, it's hard. It's hard to really say and put it all into and just say one moment because you know there was a lot of things that I'm proud of that happened that I was a part of. But I would say, man, like for me, it had to be a class and you know you see hadn't won yet. You know, so that was your opportunity, and us as juniors we didn't have one yet. You know, so like that was kind of motivation, man. But being able to
Broke up, man.
what was the last part you heard?
Man, a lot of it was chopped up. It kept chopping up.
I was saying it's hard to really pinpoint, right? But for for me, it had to be like that first. And I remember Coach Hurley talking to us about how there was never a class that
Right, right. Man, it keeps breaking up.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. When I was talking?
When you talk, it'll talk for a little bit, then it'll start chopping up.
You hear me now?
It's still choppy. Hello?
Yeah. Let me try and relocate.
Okay,
I got.
yeah. See you over there on them 30 acres, man. You know, move up to that 10th acre real quick.
Man, I got all my bars, man. I left my basement. If I can't go outside and talk, I don't know where the hell to go.
All right, perfect. You good right there. I can hear you.
Right here?
I hear you good now.
Nah, so man, I was saying that you know, like your senior year, right? That had to be the most memorable. That had to be the most memorable because, you know, Coach Hurley was telling us how there was never a four-year group of guys that won a championship. There was never a class throughout 4 years that didn't leave that school without one. So, your senior
Right.
year, you guys hadn't won it, and then my junior year, we didn't have any rings at all at that time. So that was the motivation going into the season. And just looking back, man, that like being able to do that for us to get one and to make sure that y'all got one leaving out of that program. That's one of the biggest memorable moments for me, looking back on those 4 years.
Oh, awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, man. And I remember that grind, bro, from right when we lost to Patterson Catholic at the crib in the playoffs. And then, as soon as he invited you back to the gym, it was on, man. That whole summer, that grind, the focus was completely there. So you kind of just answered my next question was going to be the 2001 or 2002 team. Not to be biased, but which team you think will be better? I know that you, Dwayne, and Eli got significantly better that next season. Your recruiting went up. So, and then, Terrence Roberts and Obi Wadike came and took our place, me and John Paul Crowman. So 2001 and 2002 team, what were the differences?
We were just so much more confident going into that senior season, that 2001, 2002 year. Like we really didn't think anybody could beat us. We had the ring kind of on our finger that kind of gave us some swag and some confidence going into that senior year. And we just was like, our eyes was on the prize again. We just thought about repeating, leaving that school with 2 rings or 2 jackets. I think us guards, right? Like we had 3 senior Division I, high major guards that we like. If one of us was off, the other 2 was on, and like if all 3 of us was on, it was over, man. Like we beat teams by 40, 50, 60 points that year, and we ended up having 1 loss. We lost to Neptune down at the Christmas tournament down there. And we ended up beating them actually in the TOC championship by 20 points.
Yeah.
So if I had to pick, I think that team probably would beat the other team, just because if you put us as seniors against us as juniors, we beat ourselves. We're a little more experienced. We got 1 ring, much more confident. And as seniors, Coach let us go, man, because he had trust in us. He had trust in us, and we had proven ourselves. So he just really let us go.
All right, awesome. Yeah, so now going into Coach Hurley, man, give me, playing for him and how tough it was playing for him. What kind of things did you learn from him, on and off of the court that you take with you still to this day?
He's not for everybody, man. And you find that out real quick. That first day of practice, not even practice, man. You find that out in open gym. And a lot of guys didn't make it. Like a lot of good players, good players didn't make it because you're gonna get challenged. He's very demanding. He's probably at that point of our lives one of the most demanding figures that I had encountered up until that point. But as 15, 16-year-olds, man, you're gonna really get pushed and challenged, and he's gonna maximize your ability. So in those ways, you got to grow up quick, and you got to either, excuse my language, shit or get off the pot, because you can't hide. You can't hide. So every day in practice is gonna be competition, and you gotta hold your own, man, and you gotta step up to the plate and answer the bell. But for me, I embrace that, man. Like I really embrace that, and I had kind of came from that type of environment, not to that extent, obviously, but that type of environment I had come from as a youngin. I had been coming to open gym since I was in the 6th grade.
Right.
So yeah. I knew I was going to St. Anthony since the 6th grade. I remember going to open gym and watching, Rashawn Burno, AP, Delvon Arrington. going down there. And at that time, they used to have 2 sessions. They used to have the JV session was early, and then the varsity session was around. Yeah, the real session was 4:30. So I would play in the JV session, with all the freshmen and sophomores that wasn't, on the varsity. And, I was a 6th grader, so I was just out there running around. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But then I sit and watch, the next session. And it was like, man, you know how it is in there, man. It's no fouls, no out of bounds. Balls is bouncing off the walls, guys getting pushed out of bounds, falling on the stage. Like, it's real in there. So it wasn't for everybody, man. But like, I knew I was going there since the 6th grade. So when I got there, I was kind of a little prepared because I had watched it. I had watched it for 3 years before I even got to high school.
Right. So a little bit you're talking about how people don't understand playing early and how demanding and how tough he was. Go a little bit into how tough practice was and how competitive we were in practice. So just go into a little bit how tough practice was playing for Coach Hurley. Man,
this was when, this was when 2-a-days, that first weekend, right? When after Thanksgiving, I remember, man, like we would be in open gym that week before leading up to Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving would be on a Thursday. And then practice would start. What was it, the next day, right? It was Friday?
Next day. Next day. Do you remember what he used to say?
Oh, well, he used to say a lot, but the one thing that sticks out is like, he used to say, listen, practice is Friday. Everybody's got Thanksgiving Thursday. Enjoy it. Spend time with your families. I want you guys there. Eat like you go, right? Because but that was the environment though. Like Friday, that was the environment. It was just dog eat dog. Everybody going at each other's necks, right? And your first session, man, I remember this like it was yesterday. We would go from like 9 to 12, and then we come back from like 4 to 6. So that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. By the time we got back to school on Monday, we couldn't walk. We couldn't walk. We could barely walk up the steps, man. I was late for a few classes because my legs felt like, they felt like noodles, man. I couldn't walk.
Like straight noodles. Yeah. Practice was a beast, man. Practice was a beast. And I see Alex and Wendell on the time. I got kicked out of open gym when I got that tattoo. Wendell and Alex Maribel, Wendell talking about that time when I walked in open gym and I got that tattoo and Coach Hurley kicked me out because he thought I was in there to show off.
Yo, hold on.
I didn't even get a chance to play.
Yo, hold on. That story though. What year were you when you got kicked out?
I just graduated. You guys were going into your senior year.
Right.
And I was done.
Right.
And then, I'm not, he looked at me and he said, you just, in a whole bunch of different words, you just get out. You came here to show off with that, and then he kicked me out. And I was like, huh? And then I because you know how that's funny because you know how it was like no earrings, no tattoos, all that stuff. So like right after we graduate, right? When we running straight to the tattoo parlor. We running straight to get our ears pierced, right? So now we think it's sweet. We come back because we graduated. Like that, but that was the standard though. You know what I'm saying? Like this discipline was a thing. Like that was important. Like nobody is bigger than the group. Nobody's bigger than the team. Like, and I know he calmed down a little bit towards the end, but like the discipline, man, like that's one of the main reasons why we were so good. Yeah, no doubt about it. Talk about a little bit the pride you're wearing the St. Anthony's jersey. And when you put that jersey on, for me, growing up, it was different because you played basketball a lot of the time in your life. I knew what St. Anthony's was, but I didn't dream about going there to play basketball. But when I got there and I was in that environment, I was like, oh, yeah, this is something different, man. I need to get with it. But talk about a little about the pride of wearing that jersey.
It's the tradition, man. Like, it's the history behind it. It's the championships that guys won before you. It's the guys that went on to play Division I at a high level and even on to the NBA. So like you're aware of all of that coming in. And then when you get into the school and you walk, I forget what floor it was on, but the trophy case, like the trophies is falling out the case. It's not for the trophies. You walking around the school, they're everywhere, right? McDonald's or American plaques, jerseys, like all of that stuff. So like you see it all the time. So like that just creates a certain level of pride where you like, man, like I ain't leaving here without one of these. I gotta leave my mark. I gotta write my name in this long history book. So that also creates a certain level of pressure too. Because Coach Hurley lets guys know, like I said before, there's never been a class to come through this school for 4 years and not win at least one ring. So we're very aware of that, man. But like when you walk in a gym with that St. Anthony jacket on or that jersey on, you feel it. You feel the looks that you get, the attention that you get, the press, how they write about you. But like, other people might say, man, like, oh, they favor those dudes, those St. Anthony dudes, man. Those dudes get all the love. But like, it's warranted because, look at the last 10 years. Look what we did. Like, look at the amount of TOCs that Coach Hurley got under his belt. And then look at the second most guy. It's not even close, right? Like, look at the second. Look at the team that's won the second most amount of TOCs. So, like, it's warranted, but pressure comes with that. Not only pride, but there's a certain level of pressure. And there's good. There's different forms of pressure. There's bad pressure and there's good pressure. This was a good form of pressure.
No doubt about it, man. I totally agree with you, man. And that time at St. Anthony's was amazing, and it's some of the stuff that I still take with me to this day in life, rolled over from high school to this day, man. So let's talk about a little about the best high school player, not the guy that became the best pro, but the best high school player that you played against.
The best high school player that I played against. It had to be DeJuan Wagner. That dude, man, like, he scored 100 in the game. His senior year, like, he was a year ahead of me. So he was your class, right?
Yeah, my class, yeah.
Yeah, so he's a year ahead of me. But, like, his senior year, I think he averaged, like, 40, 45, something like that. Something crazy. Yeah, 45. Yeah. So, like, he was just, he was beyond his years, man. Like, just way further down the line than most of us was at, like, 17. So like I remember we played them down at the primetime shootout, man. It was packed in there, man. Like thousands and thousands of people to see a high school game. Yeah. We beat them. We beat them by 20. But like I just remember watching this dude and being like, damn. Dude could go. Dude could he different. He doing different stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think he might have had 30, but shit, we held him 15 points under his average. You know what I'm saying?
I was just about to say that. He had 45. He averaged 45, and we held him to 32. And Coach Hurley came in there at the end of the game and said, hell of a job, guys. We held him to 32. And we're like, yeah, we still had 32 points.
Yo, that just reminded me. That just reminded me. This dude, I think the end of the first quarter, he took a dribble over half court, right? It was like the end of the quarter. Time was running. And he just shot like a deep three from like 28 feet. And then I remember we got to the bench, And Coach Hurley was like, "Yo, don't worry about that. Ain't nothing y'all could do about that right there."
Yeah, I remember that. 'Cause he just kind of looked at the spot like,
Right,
he's good, man.
right,
He
right.
was. He was special, man. So we talked about a little bit about your recruiting. If you remember, what were your top 3 schools that you were looking at before you decided to commit it to St. Joe's?
My last 4 schools was LaSalle, Rhode Island, St. Joe's, and Marquette.
Nice. And
And
why St. Joe's?
well, I visited LaSalle first. I was gonna go 3 weekends in a row. I visited LaSalle, I visited St. Joe's, and then I was scheduled to visit Rhode Island. I just thought Marquette was kind of too far for me, but I visited LaSalle. Visit went okay. I visited St. Joe's, and I just had a really good feeling. I had a good time on a visit. I connected with the team. Obviously, I had a good relationship with the staff. I liked the campus. It wasn't too far, but it also wasn't close. So when I got home, I was supposed to visit Rhode Island the following week, man, and I went to school the next day, talked to Coach Hurley, talked to my family, and I pulled the trigger. But it was for all of those reasons, man. I felt really comfortable when I went there.
Awesome. So now we'll roll into playing at St. Joe's, man. I know you played with some really good players, man. Jameer Nelson, Delonte West, Dwayne Jones. For a Hall of Fame coach, in my opinion, is Phil Martelli.
Yeah.
Of course, probably your most memorable moment, would probably be, going to the Elite Eight, if I'm right or wrong. But, talk to me a little bit about that season and how special that group was in that season was.
Yeah, man. We my freshman year, we went to the NCAA tournament, and we lost to Auburn in the first round. And then so like right after the season, man, you get those couple weeks off. But then we came back for workouts, and I remember we were talking after this workout or after pickup, and it was a couple of us just in a group talking, and we was like, "Yo, man, we gotta make a run next year. We gotta get to the second." Back then it was like, we played in a very small school, and they had a long time, right? So we were like, "Yo, we made the Sweet 16." I remember, Delonte West was like, nah. He was like, "Nah, man, we going to the Final Four. We going to the Final Four." Right? So he put that out there, man. It's like, we not gonna settle for Final Four. So like, that was the goal. That was the goal, man. So we all, we had a good summer. We worked, and at that time, man, you remember, like, you couldn't work out with your coaches at that time during the summer.
No.
So everything was on your own. You had to go get it on your own. So we all came back, man, and from day one, everybody just clicked, man. Everybody clicked. We had pretty much the majority of our team returned, and we took off running, man. We hit the ground running.
All right, awesome, man. And a little bit, talk about playing for Phil Martelli, the transition from playing to Coach Hurley, Phil Martelli. Were they similar? Was the transition not as hard? Because, for me, no coach would ever top practice or playing for Coach Hurley. Not one coach that I've ever played for, but I did after a coach as good as Phil Martelli. So talk about a little bit the differences and how the transition was playing for Coach Hurley and Coach Martelli.
Yeah, man, it was easy, to be honest with you, bro. Like, our practices was so crazy. By the time it was over, we was just like, man, we couldn't wait to get out of the gym. You know what I mean? Because that's how hard the practices was. So when I got to college, it was easy. They weren't as as tough. Now they were difficult, but I was just, I was coming from a different place, a different environment, and a lot of the things like the basics, like shell defense and team defense, knowing where to be, help positioning, midline, all of that
Right.
stuff you teach freshmen. I already knew that. I already knew it. So it was kind of easy for me to just fit in and find my way. The hardest part was just like physically, you know, those guys were just more, more stronger, more athletic, faster.
Yeah.
So once I adjusted to that, I was good. I was good. Now, like the difference, Coach Martelli is he's a player's coach, man. Like he's rarely gonna get after you like that. Like in his own way, he will. But he's a player's coach, man. You have a really good like most guys have good relationships with Coach Hurley after high school, right? After they leave and then come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's so demanding. It's just like it's kind of weird in a way. But like when you come back, it's a great relationship with him. Whereas with Coach Martelli, it was a little easier for me to kind of have that relationship, man. But as far as basketball goes, the hardest part was just adjusting to the speed of the game, the size of the guys, and the athleticism. But practices was pretty much easy.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome, man. Awesome. Hey, St. Joe's, the college atmosphere and playing there. How was the atmosphere playing at St. Joe's?
It's great, man. I know, most people on this live have probably heard of the phrase "the hawk will never die," right? And when you watch St. Joe's games, you see that hawk on the sideline, and he's flapping his wings all game, right? Right,
Yeah.
because the hawk will never die. He can't stop flapping his wings, right? That's part of the job. Like, and
I didn't know that.
no, that's part of it, man. So like, there's
a scholarship.
I was just about to say, there's 200 people that apply for that job every year, and you got to write a letter. You got to write a letter, and then you get chosen, right? Based on that letter. But that it is a scholarship thing. Like if you're able to be lucky enough to be chosen, you get your school paid for that particular year. So it's a full-time job, man. They travel every game, every home game, every road game. It's a big deal, man. Like after the game, when he take off that Hawk suit, because he's in the locker room with us. When he take that off, he's drenched. He's drenched. He's drenched. He's drenched. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of pride with that school, man. So especially when we were winning, we sold out every game. A lot of our games we had to move to the Palestra because it just seated more. All of the big games we played at the Palestra.
Awesome, man. It's great you just talked about the Palestra, man. We're just going to go right into my next question. The Big Five, man, and playing in that atmosphere and playing teams, and I know that was a big-time thing in Philadelphia, man. Talk about a little bit about that, about how the rivalry was and how intense the fans were during the Big Five games.
Yeah, so much history, man. That goes back, back to like Wilt Chamberlain and then you go on up the line, and every school kind of had their time. Back in the day, LaSalle was good, and then we had our run. Now Villanova's kind of got a stranglehold on the Big Five. So every school has their time, but the history, man, that goes back. I don't know if you ever been to the Palestra inside the building, but it's just like, on the walls, it's just everybody, all the great players like Kobe Bryant, Wilt Chamberlain. Like, I could just keep going on and on. I watched LeBron play in that building, when he was a senior in high school. Yeah. So it's so much history, man. But that Big Five, man, like, in a way, that's more important than, winning your own league, whether you're in the A-10, Big East, like that. That's bragging rights throughout the city. Like if you lose in the A-10 championship to like we did, like like we lost to GW one year and lost to Xavier another year, but I ain't got to see those dudes. But I gotta see Randy Foy, Alan Ray, and those dudes at Villanova. I gotta see all of those guys that play at Penn and LaSalle, because we at the workouts in the summertime we all at the same workouts. So those are bragging rights, man. Those are bragging rights that come with that. It's great experience to go through that and be a part of that, man. And my group, we won so many games and had so much success that we got inducted to the Big Five Hall of Fame, man. So that's something I'm really proud of.
Congrats. I didn't know that. Congratulations.
Appreciate
That's
that.
awesome. All right, so who was the best, like, since I talked about who was the best player in high school, I know you played against a really good college player, and you had pros on your team. Who was the best player you played against in college, whether it was your teammates, being Delonte West and Jameer Nelson, who were two NBA first-round picks and pros, or name somebody else that you played against in college that you thought was the best player. Who do you think was the best player you played against in college?
Yeah, man. I ain't got to look too far. Like, I had to go against these dudes every day in practice, man. So, like, Jameer, Delonte, going against those dudes in practice every day. When we got to the games, I wasn't really worried about who we was playing against. You know what I'm saying? I was just going out there to compete and and do my thing. But I tell you a player that I was really like kind of caught myself watching him, like during the game, as a competitor. And it was David West. Now I didn't have to guard him, and I was a freshman that year, like his senior year. And that's when Xavier was still in the A-10. Man, this dude, he was a problem, man. I think he was 3-time player of the year in that league.
He was a monster.
He was a problem. He was a problem, man. That's probably the one guy that I would say, but other than that, it was Jameer and Delonte.
All right, awesome. All right, so after that, you were able to go and had aspirations of playing. Aren't able to do that, but for you were fortunate enough, you worked hard enough, and of course you had the skill and the talent to do it. So name a couple places that you played at professionally.
Well, right out the gate, the year I went to Germany, and I was in the A League in Germany. You was out there, at the time, and that was great for me, man, to experience that, get a chance to travel, see different things. With this basketball thing, it's just a vehicle, man. Like, I would have never been to Germany. I would have never been to Europe without basketball. Especially not at 22 years old. You know what I mean? But Germany was my first stop. Where was my second stop? Slovenia. I went to Slovenia. I played in Ljubljana, which was a EuroLeague team. I had a good time there. Both of those places, top team, but both really good places to live. It's not like one of those countries where you just feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. Like it's kind of Americanized. Both of those. I also played in Cyprus. For my shortest stint I had. Cyprus really, really nice. Greece, and I played in the States up to for a year.
Starting to break up, Lee. Starting to break up.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yep.
Yeah, no. But no, Germany, Slovenia. Like I said, I played in Cyprus for a little bit. Well, Cyprus is a really nice, really beautiful island off the southern coast of Greece. I played in Vermont as well in the ABA. I played up in Vermont for the Frost Thieves in the ABA for a year also.
Yep, and then you won a championship with the Frost Thieves as well. Okay, what was the toughest place and probably the best place that you played in as far as living wise? And you spoke briefly about Germany being very Americanized, which I lived there the same season as you did, which is very true. And then playing in Slovenia, which one of those leagues were the best and had the best fans?
Oh man, well, I think Germany was the best league. Now Slovenia had crazy fans, like their fans were wild. So like people who don't really know how it is in Europe, they shoot flare guns in the game, in the
They sure do.
stands, right?
And,
So like
and they can smoke cigarettes in some places.
they smoke cigarettes for sure. But you watch these soccer games and whatnot, and you watch these soccer games and they shoot flare guns, but they're outdoors, right? In Slovenia, there was one game, I just look up in the stands and it's like smoking, right? But they shoot flare guns at the basketball games too. Hold on, what? No. My daughter's she just took the headphones out of my ear because I was ignoring her. She's gonna find a way.
She's the boss.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I think Germany was one of the best leagues. Very competitive, man. And like when I was there, I don't know if it's still like that, but you were able to have multiple Americans on your team as long as you had the same amount of natives, right? So some teams will have 4 to 5 Americans, so that made it really competitive.
Yeah. Those are very good leagues, man. Couple more questions, and then we'll start to wrap things up, man, and get into this quick game that we had. Okay. If you could do anything different as far as being a pro or from high school to college, as far as just basketball wise, would it be anything, or would you do everything the exact same?
I think about my choice that I made to go to St. And I go back and forth with this sometimes because, and just to go back, when I visited St. Joe's, I was supposed to visit Rhode Island, right, the following weekend. So I chose St. Joe's. Had the call, right? You got to call the coach, right? So you got to call him and say, yo, I'm not coming. I'm committing to St. Joe's. So I called Rhode Island, and the coach at the time was Jimmy Barron, right?
Yeah.
He was kind of upset. He's like, yo, man, you're supposed to visit. I thought you were coming, this, that, and the third. And I just had to tell him, like, listen, man, I think I know where I want to go. So, but to answer, when I went to St. Joe's, Jameer was supposed to stay for 1 more year and then go to the NBA early after his junior year. And he had a good year, right? But it just wasn't, the feedback he got from the NBA, it wasn't good enough to where he felt like he was secure first rounder, right? So he ended up coming back to school. So that kind of, like, I was supposed to sit for a year behind him, back him up, and then 3 years, it was my show. It actually turned into 2. It actually turned into 2. So I think about that, and every time I see Jimmy Barron, he's always like, yo, man, I would have let you go. I would have gave you the ball for 4 years. Like, to this day, right? I see him on the road recruiting. I would have gave you the ball for 4 years, but that's the only thing. But then I really sit down and then really think about it. And I'm like, yo, I made a lot of good. I still talk to a lot of those guys today. I still talk to Coach Martelli often. So, to answer your question, I would probably do it the same.
All right, awesome. If you could give some advice to any of these young players that have aspirations of playing pro basketball, what would you tell them? Because a lot of people hear about the glitz and the glam and what this and that does. But so if you can give any advice, what would you tell these young guys that have aspirations of being a pro basketball player?
Just understand, man, like, now when it comes to being a pro, it's hard, man. Like, you think about, let's just talk about the NBA, for example. Like, you got 30 teams, 15 players per team. That's only 450 guys. So the numbers, the chances of you making that is very slim. Now, I want you to chase your dreams and, really go after it hard. But just understand how hard it is to make it into that league. but then even harder to stay. You know, but you know, a lot of guys are good enough to play in Europe, but what comes with that, man, is that lifestyle. You got to go out there. You got to live out there for 10 months. You know, so that's also hard. That's also difficult. You know, so just have your secondary plan ready, man. Just have all of those things in place. So, you know, when it's time, whether it's coaching or whatever it is, you can you know, seamlessly slide into that portion of your life, because you know, a lot of guys find themselves lost when they can't they can't find their way into the NBA. You know, I know now the G League is becoming an option, and they're starting to pay more money, but a lot of guys find themselves lost. But here's the one thing I want to say though, man. Not when it comes to just advice for guys trying to get into the NBA, but this is just advice for young high school basketball players, right?
Right.
Don't pay attention to the rankings. That's the worst thing you can do is look on these you know, following these guys, these blogs and these publications, right? And worrying about where they got you ranked. There was never one day in practice when I got to college or when I played in Europe when they were like, okay, all right, you on the first team because you was ranked, you know, you was top 50 in the state, in your state. Like that don't mean anything. It don't mean anything. And all that does, to be honest with you, like when you're that young and you can't really you know, at 15, 16-year-old, like you think that's it, right? You think that like this the end all be all. Oh, I'm the top 5 in my state, right? And it kind of creates like a sense of, yeah, I've arrived, right? And all that does is make you comfortable. And as soon as you get comfortable, it's somebody coming for your spot. Somebody coming for your spot. So stay away from those rankings, man. Do not worry about where they got you. I don't care if you won. I don't care if you 100. Don't pay attention to it because it don't mean anything, man. And at the end of the day, the people that are ranking you, I respect them, man. Don't take this the wrong way, but there's guys that a lot of them didn't play, don't understand what it really takes and how hard it is to be really good at this game.
Right.
And don't know what it takes to go where you trying to get to, right? So,
Right.
Don't pay attention to those rankings.
Exactly. I totally agree with you, man. And that's great advice for young guys because I hear from a lot of guys that follow guys on Twitter and social media like, he's ranked this, he's ranked that. So it's kind of like, for an example, real quick, how, you know, we were talking about Dewan Wagner, and it's crazy how his son right now is a freshman in the country.
Right.
So Mikey Williams from California is ranked number 3.
Yeah.
So
I love what he tweeted out, by the way. And I know you love that, especially you know, an alum from an HBC. But I love what he tweeted out.
I love it too, and it only takes one, man. And just to say something real quick, I don't know why it has to wait till somebody from 2023 class. Why can't it be somebody other to emerge and be that guy? It only takes one. And if you're, like he said, and it's awesome that he did it. If you're a pro, man. It doesn't matter what school you go to. Doesn't matter what color creed you are. If you're a pro, they'll find you. And people will find you now in the creeks and be like, man, where'd you find this kid? Don't worry about that.
That's right.
You know, so.
Because it's their job. So, it's their job to find you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I tell people all the time. It's like, man, I ain't going to get no exposure. Yo, listen, their job is to find the best players in the world, right? And if somebody slips through the cracks, they lose their job. So they're going to find you. It don't matter, bro. They're going to find you.
Just put that work in. So now we'll go into a little bit about your coaching career, and we'll start to wind this down. So from 2012 to 2013, you were a graduate assistant. And Bashir Mason, man, was doing amazing things there. And then your second stop was at Fairleigh Dickinson from 2013 to 2017, and you were under Greg Garenda. You guys went to the 2016 NCAA tournament that year. Then in 2017 to 2019, you were under Coach Schmidt, and then in 2018, you guys also went to the tournament, and then now you're at Quinnipiac. You know, it was last year. It was your first year, and now you're under Coach Dunleavy, man. So, you know, briefly, man, just talk about coaching life and, you know, having this tree that you have and be able to still go to the NCAA tournaments and continue to still be a winner and different programs and how they operate.
Yeah, man. You know, I tell people all the time, man. I'm trying to get into another lit area. I tell people all the time that I just been blessed, man. Like, you know, being able to play for good coaches, starting with, you know, my pops, you know, showing me the game, and then high school, Coach Hurley. You know, and then after that, we talked about St. Joe's and Coach Martelli and everything like that. And then I was blessed to be able to work, you know, for really good coaches, man. You know, Bashir got me, you know, gave me an opportunity. You know, Coach Mason, by the way, one of the best, you know, coaches, young coaches in the country, and done a great job at Wagner. But I was there his first year, man. And you know, after that, I was able to, you know, go and get a job at Fairleigh Dickinson. Greg Correnda hired me, put me on the road. I think I might have been 27 or 28 at the time. I'm not sure. And being able to work with him and learn from him, and kind of just make mistakes and just find my way, you know, as a young assistant at Fairleigh Dickinson, man. And we was able to bring some good players in there and kind of won a little bit ahead of schedule. You know, we went to the tournament a year before schedule. And you know, we all got some recognition from it, rightfully so. You know, and then playing for Mark Schmidt, man, who's, and I'm telling you, man, like one of the best basketball minds in the business. You know, just like
Very underrated. Yeah.
very, very underrated, man. Like the type of offense that we ran, the schemes, the positions he put players in to be successful, just knowing what, you know, I mean, like, listen, now we ran a lot of plays now. Like we ran over 100, you know, different plays, right? But like being able to call the right ones, like putting guys in, knowing what's working that game. One of the best offensive minds, one of the best coaches, you know, in the country for sure. So I learned a hell of a lot when I went there, and I was there for 2 years. Was able to coach some really good players. A couple guys playing in the G League now, guys playing overseas, playing, you know, being around some good players. You know, so I've been blessed, and then leading up to now, you know, my guy now is one of the young up and coming head coaches in the business with, you know, great pedigree. You know, Baker Dunleavy, his dad, Coach Magic Johnson with the Lakers, and you know, he worked at Villanova for Jay Wright. So, you know, he's next up, man. He's next up, and you know, I came here to help and be a part of the program that we're trying to build here. So I just been blessed, man, and that's one of the best things that's ever happened to me, to be honest with you, because you see a lot of guys, right, that work for one guy for 8 years, 9 years, and they become that person, right? They don't have their own coaching style because you're just around that person every day, and it's just natural that you become that person. For me, I'm able to choose from 4 guys, pick and choose the stuff I like, the stuff I don't like, and then just kind of make it my own. You know, so like you talk about advice I would give young players, advice I would give young coaches is work for different guys.
Right.
Like go out and work. Now, while you're young, if you have the opportunity, you know, when you don't have kids, you can move around and it's just you could bounce around from state to state and live different places, work for different guys, man, because I just really believe that that's how you become the best version of yourself as a coach.
I totally agree with you, man, on that. Great points. So you're married. You've been married for 3 years. Have 2 beautiful daughters, man. You know, it's amazing your entrepreneurship and the type of properties. And I see you just purchased a truck, man. So really proud of you on that, man. Just kind of just talk about your personal life real quick, and then we'll get into these couple things we have, man.
Yeah, man. I'm married, bro. Like, listen, check this out, right? I got married in 2017, right? On June in June. Okay. I got offered the St. Bonaventure job the month before that in May,
Ooh.
right? So that
Okay.
whole time in Wagner and Fairleigh Dickinson, that was 5 years. I was living. I never had to move, right? I never had to move. So everything was good. So I got offered that job in May. We were already planned. We already had it scheduled to get married. So I took the job, right? I went up there for like a couple weeks. I came home. I got married on a Saturday, and Tuesday I left and I moved to Olean, New York. And for people who don't know, Olean, New York is up near Buffalo. It's like it's a 5-hour drive from Jersey City, but it's just kind of in the middle of nowhere, man. It's not a place where I was comfortable moving my family. So I went up there 2 days after I got married, started working, and spent 2 years up there, man. But that's how invested I was into this thing. You know what I mean? That's how invested I was, and I didn't think I'd be there for longer than a few years. It turned out to be
Right.
2.
Right.
But yeah, man. So you talked about being married, but I had to tell that story because man, she's a rider, man. She held it down
Yeah.
with the kids at home, let me do my thing, let me chase my dreams. But no, she's a real one, man. She's a real one. And so you asked about the entrepreneurship, man, like I always was a guy who wanted to invest his money, like we make this money, and it's the things that they don't teach you in school that we got to kind of learn on our own. And once I kind of got put onto it and made aware of it, I said, man, let me dive into this thing. Like, and my uncle was in real estate when I was a kid, and I was always attracted to it, man. I would see him bounce around, go to houses, pick up rent money. Like, I thought that was cool. Like, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, you own this building? He's like, yeah, man. So I always was attracted to that. So as soon as I had the opportunity, man, I just bought my first rental property, man, and I just been buying ever since.
Awesome, man. Proud of you both, you guys, man. So right now we're gonna do a little quick segment, man. It's gonna be, you got to pick one, and it's gonna be choppy, and it's gonna be really quick, man. So I'm gonna ask you a couple questions, and then you pick one, man, and then I'm gonna let you go, man. So really quick, okay? You ready to roll?
Go ahead, I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Shorts or jeans?
Shorts.
Pizza or burger?
Pizza.
Now this is Crown Fried Chicken now. People that's watching from Jersey City. Italian cheeseburger or center breast?
Wow.
Ooh.
Italian cheeseburger.
Yes, I like it. All right, Biggie or Pop?
Biggie.
Jay-Z or Nas?
Jay-Z. All day.
Drake or Lil Wayne?
Lil Wayne.
Beyonce or Rihanna?
I mean, okay. Beyonce. Yeah. Good. What we talking about? We talking about music? We talking about music here?
Beyonce wins.
Right.
Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson.
J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar?
J. Cole.
Eddie Murphy or Jimmy Fox?
Eddie Murphy.
The Nets or the Knicks?
Oh man. I like what the Nets is doing right now. I like what they're doing right now.
Okay.
Let's go. I gotta go Brooklyn Nets because the Knicks they've been like if I did say Knicks, it would be because I grew up watching them in the 90s when they was good. But I just can't say Knicks, man, based on what they've been doing for the last 12, 15 years. So I'm going Brooklyn Nets.
Got you. For my Knicks fan, we need to get James Dolan up out of it, man.
Yeah, he's got to go.
Yankees or Mets?
Yankees.
Jets or Giants?
Giants.
Ready to Die or Ten Commandments?
Ready to Die.
Ooh, okay. The Black Album or reasonable doubt?
Reasonable doubt.
He got game or above the rim?
He got game.
Ooh. Ali or Ray?
Ali.
White Eagle or Hurley's Court?
Come on, man. Kidding
Yeah,
me?
I gotta ask. I already know
White
the
Eagle. Come on, man.
answer. The Bulls or the Warriors?
Bulls all day long.
Okay. Last but not least, man, you know what question I'm about to ask you? Mike or LeBron?
Mike.
All right, man. That was my last question, man. D. Lee, man, I appreciate you coming on the show. Last thing I'm going to ask you, man, if you got anything to say, a quote, a saying, if you want to let anybody know, man, speak now and let everybody know what you would like to say.
Just a quick quote, man. It's a quote from Frank L. Gaines, right? Y'all can look it up after this. And the quote is pretty much, it says, if you can see the invisible, you can do the impossible.
Nice.
Frank L. Gaines.
I like it, man. I like it, man. And once again, man, I see you guys got any questions for Dwayne real quick. I know we started out a little shaky with the link. So if you have any questions for him, man, I know we had more people in here earlier, but if you have any questions for him, you know, let him know before he goes. But I see a couple comments, guys. Thank you for watching. You know, thanks for the love and the support on this one, man. We'll continue to get better.
See, we got some good people in here. I'm just looking. I wasn't even paying attention to the comments, so there's some good dudes in here and ladies. And ladies.
I see. Wendell.
Where's my man Flip? Is Flip in here?
Yeah,
it's flipping. Where's Flip at, man?
Did you leave?
Huh?
Did you leave?
Flip, where you at, man?
Cleveland, what's up, man?
Talk to me, Flip.
Mercer, I'm gonna get you on here, man.
Yo, man, I like what you're doing. Where Flip at? Where is he?
Nah, he's not on here, but this is what he said. He forgot. He reminded me of what he said, man, when Coach Hurley kicked me out for that tattoo. He said, man, before you get a tattoo, make sure you get some arms.
Yo, you know him. He so mad sarcastic, right? Like, so sarcastic. Man. You know what I mean?
It was funny.
That's who he is. That's who he is, man. Yeah.
But yo, Dwayne, man, thanks for coming on here, man. Appreciate it, man. Nothing but love, man. You know I love you and your family. I'm so proud of you, man. And people in our generation need to tell each other that they love them, and that people feel like, oh, I can't say that because it's gonna make me soft or whatever. No, people need to hear that, man, and let them know you're doing good, man. I'm proud of you. So, because even if you hear it sometimes, it still feels good that people notice your accomplishments. And I just want to tell you, man, from brother to brother, man, I'm extremely proud of you, man. And you know, words can't describe how proud of you I am, man.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. You know, it's likewise, man. It's love. It's definitely love over this way, man. I know your family for a long time, man. So, you know, we go way back, man. So you already know what it is. On this, man, this is gonna be good. I can't wait to follow and see who you got on here next. You know, now I know I'm gonna get all the like you old guys can't figure out Facebook. You can't jump on live. You know what I mean? But I'll be the trailblazer, man. I'll go down that road first for everybody, man. And I can't wait to see how you progress with this thing. Proud of you as well, bro. Love you. Keep doing your thing.
Appreciate it, man. Hey, Donald Copeland's got a question. Donald, what's your question, man?
What's his question?
Donald, spit.
Oh, my man Ray is on here too.
Yeah, Ray Rod on there.
Ray Rod, what's up?
Hey, Miss Vincent.
Who's that?
Pete's mom.
Oh, okay. This guy. What's his question?
I'm still waiting.
Oh
Nah, so,
man,
and it goes Flip. Flip just hop back on.
Flip is in here.
Chill. Flip, what's up, Flip?
Flip,
Chill. What's up,
Flip, what's up? Flip, where you at, man? Where is Flip? Flip, I used to play. I
Actress.
competed against Flip. Was at St. Louis when I was at St.
Yeah,
Joe.
that's right. St. Louis. Flip, what's up, man? It's been years.
Yeah, man.
He wants to know who is actress.
Is that Flip's question?
No, that was Don's question. I see it now. He said, "Who's actress, man?"
Oh, who's the actress?
That's it. That's the Isaac Ross story.
Yeah, you gotta ask Izo about that. My man Zoe. I found a picture today of me and Zoe too. That's funny. I should have sent that to that group. I gotta send that to y'all.
Yeah, man. Actress, man. The actress story, I don't know, but it started for people that know Cash Money, Baby, and Lil Wayne. They call him Beatrice, and he's over all the Cash Money and his boss. So Isaac Ross started calling him Beatrice, because he was like Baby and was a monster. Not a monster, but over everything, tough. So that's where it kind of came from, man.
So
Guys, man, thanks for watching. You guys, if you guys got any questions, comments, leave it. But I'll have somebody coming on in the next few days. I'll start to post, man. But thanks again, Wayne. Love you, bro. Peace out, everybody.
appreciate you, bro.
So.